So, welcome back to the reading vlog. Let me tell you, being back to work is an adjustment. It is, it's costing me all my nerves. But I just wanted to do a quick update of what I'm currently reading and what I finished. I actually managed to finish the 5th season. I didn't love it. It was fine. I don't get the hype around the book, if I'm honest. I think I gave it 3 stars, 2.5, 3, something around there. And I don't think it's horrible. I don't like the perspective and how it is written. I don't like the writing style. I will definitely not try anything else, but N.K. Jemisin, I'm gonna assume that she writes the same. I understand the story. I don't love it. I don't know. It is a pretty negative book in my opinion, which I know a lot of people like. It is a relatively dramatic book. I just don't love stuff like that, so not a fan. Just to be honest, you know. But it's not a bad book per se. It's just that I don't really like it. And then let's talk about the books I'm currently reading. The first is Going Postal by Terry Pratchett, which I'm listening to as an audiobook. So yeah, this is currently my audiobook of choice. I like it. It is a little bit different than I feel like than the rest of them. But yeah, I don't have strong opinions. It's funny because it kind of makes fun of the post service. Because pretty much it's a criminal who was supposed to get hanged, gets put as a postmaster by Lord Veterinary, and he brings chaos and modernization into the post office, which is kind of funny. But yeah, it's weird. But I feel like that about most of Terry Pratchett's books, let's be honest. And then the other one I'm reading currently is The Paleontologist. This one I'm absolutely loving right now. It's a horror book about somebody working in a museum, and he has a history there as a child because I think either his sister or his friend vanished in the museum, and he's now back as a curator for the paleontology of the museum, and he starts hearing things again, and yeah, it's nice. There's so much nice information about museums and all of the workings around that. I worked in a museum as an internship for a while. I loved that job. Sadly, it wasn't supposed to be in my future, you know, but it was a great job, and yeah, I love this. It's creepy, it's informative, it's kind of cool. I like the main character. Yeah, I'm interested to see where this goes. You know, it could be really, really bad, and I'm not expecting it, or it could continue being this great. But yeah, those are the ones I'm currently reading, and then we'll see what I pick up after those two. But hopefully I will finish these two this week, and then I'll see with what I will continue. I do still have 4 books on my TBR, so I will need to focus on those after I finish those two, but we'll see. With work being back again, it's kind of... I have less time to read again now, you know. I had so much time the last 2 weeks, and now I have less time again, and yeah, it's an adjustment, to be honest, and I'm not loving it. Okay, so it is still Tuesday evening. Well, I'm incredibly tired. It seems like we ate some not so good tomato sauce today, and we didn't realize it, and we're both not feeling the greatest. So yeah, we're thinking it might be the tomato sauce. But yeah, that means I'm incredibly tired. I don't know how that could have happened. I am chaos today, but because I was so tired, I stopped gaming, and I got down here and just, you know, threw an audiobook on, and I have been listening for a few hours now, which means I just finished Going Postal, which to be honest, it's nice that I managed to finish that because I had so much time to listen to the audiobook now. But yeah, this is about, I don't know what I told you before, but yeah, it's about delivering post and the criminal that has to do that, and it has some supernatural stuff. Obviously, it's the Discworld. But yeah, I gave it 3 stars. I have to be honest, I never really got into the Terry Pratchett books as much as my partner because he loves them. I like them. I don't love them. I have a few that I love. Death's Granddaughter, for example. like all the ones with death in them. Those I really love. And then Rinsement I also really like. This one is the Industrial Revolution. I feel like that is one I don't really vibe with. So yeah, it was interesting, but all in all, it was just, I felt like a little bit more of an average book and less of a super funny Terry Pratchett book, which I feel like a lot of the other ones are. This one felt a little bit more like the humor was there, but it felt a little bit more mellow. But yeah, I think that might work for a lot of people. This has really, really good reviews. I think on Goodreads it has like 4.4 stars. But yeah, for me, it's, I don't know, I liked it. I didn't love it. It just, you know, so 3 stars. And yeah, I finished it. So I will now have to look for a new audiobook. We'll see what I can find. And then I will do some cleanup. I need to, well, I restarted pretty much cleaning the like little room that is like the storage room that is next to this one. I am continuing the cleanup with that. I had a little of a pause on that because we had to do some other stuff in the home, but now I will get back to that. I have a lot of like old clothing to sort through, to think about what to do with that, and then, you know, rearrange stuff and such. So I want to start with that now, but I do need to find something else. I will probably watch some YouTube or something while I do that, because I'm not too keen to jump into the next audiobook, if I'm honest, because I already listened to so much today. But yeah, I will do that tomorrow then, look for a new audiobook, and yeah. For the rest of the evening, I will just listen to some YouTube and clean up that room, and yeah, then go to bed because I'm fucking tired. I am now roughly a third of the way through the Paleontologist, and I have to say, it is a slow read, but I actually don't mind. It's not a slow read because the book is slow, it's a slow read because I read it slow. Because I do like to savor the book. I really like it. I don't think it's particularly scary up to this point. It feels more of like supernatural, cursey like thing. Like if you've watched the what is called The Scorpion King, is that the right name? You know, all of those movies where they go into like old graves and stuff, and then there's a curse that runs after them pretty much. The book feels like those movies. But it feels really, really interesting, and I really like it. It's, I don't know, it's kind of a cool book. We have our main character. He's now restoring this skeleton that is on the front, and that seems to be the skeleton that is kind of bringing problems, and the museum seems to be haunted. And then he meets the wife of one of the beneficiaries for the museum, and she's like, yeah, and have you met the ghosts yet? And she's kind of like, you know, your sister walking around there. And he's like, what, my sister's dead? How is she walking around there? And then, yeah, the ghost of their sister and stuff like that. It was a really funny kind of talk between the two. I don't know. I really like it. I think the main character is a relatively complex character because there's obviously a lot of trauma. He also grew up with his mom. Like, the dad wasn't in the picture, and the mom was like abusive and an addict, and his half sister, you know, she has a different dad that also wasn't around, and he had to, you know, help his sister. And then once his sister vanished, his mother like really went off the rails, and yeah, then he got taken by his aunt because his mother couldn't care for him anymore. He has like a relationship that suffered because of like his behaviors, and he's really like open with that and going to therapy, you know. It's a really interesting main character, and I really like him. And yeah, this is how far I'm through. So I think it's roughly like a third of the way, like 120 pages. But yeah, I'm really enjoying my time reading through this. So it's gonna be slow read, probably not gonna be finished this week, but you know what, I'm gonna take my time with it as much as I want to. And I do still need to pick a new audiobook. I need to search for one now. I haven't found one yet. Ideally, I would like to read or listen to an audiobook that I also own as a physical book, because then I can get my physical TBR down. But we'll see. And then I also kind of like started continuing with Sleeping Beauties by Stephen King and Owen King, which is what my phone's propped up against, because so I can't show you at the moment. But yeah, I'm slowly starting to read more of that as well, but you know, I can only read so much in a week, and yeah, that is kind of how the day is going. I'm really tired, and yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna hopefully find an audiobook, and if not, I will just physically read. But I'm kind of more in the mood for an audiobook right now, so let's all hope I will find one. So let's do an update. First of all, I continued with the Paleontologist. I am still really liking this book. I am now 230 pages through, so I have like 120 left, which I would ideally like to finish tomorrow. So that's the goal for tomorrow, is to finish the Paleontologist. And yeah, I really like it. I like how the story is going. It's, you know, it's a supernatural horror book. It's more of a mystery, I would say, because yeah, there are like scary parts in the book, but I don't feel like they are that scary. It's just, it kind of reads like a crazy episode of Supernatural or something like that, you know, or like The Ghost Whisperer. It's kind of like a crazy version of that. But yeah, I really enjoy it. I like the main character. He's a really flawed human being, and I kind of, I don't know, it's like, you know, it's a nice character. He isn't like bad. He's like somebody who just struggles with life, and now on top of that we have this like scary things happening in the dark. Would I have wished for the book to be a lot more scary? Yes, I would have wished for that, but I am happy with the book that I'm reading, you know. It's I would have wished like a really scary version of this. I would have loved, but yeah, pretty much most of like the scary things, he just runs away and then everything is fine. So yeah, it's kind of, it's not really scary, to be honest, but I feel like for like a museum mystery kind of book, I feel like it's really nice, and I really enjoy where the story is going and how our main character yeah, is behaving himself and is doing things and stuff like that. So yeah, hopefully I will finish that tomorrow. And then I just now pinned down a new audiobook I will do, and I will do that just to have it done. And that is The Bands of Mourning. I just started listening to it. I'm cranking it up to really fast listening, because to be totally honest, I'm not really interested in reading it, but I made my way through the other two now, and I just want to have this read, and I don't want to DNF it because, you know, but the series is not for me. I don't enjoy it particularly. So yeah, I'm just doing it as an audiobook and cranking the speed up to like 2.5 times, and then I'm pretty, like, I should be through in like 2 to 3 evenings. So yeah, that is the plan right now. This is how far I am. I'm like 30 pages in, so I just started listening to this. And yeah, I'm not really interested in the story, but you know, I bought it, I want to have it done, you know, so just so I can ignore it. And just read the other Brandon Sanderson books that I enjoy a lot more than this series. So those are pretty much the two things I'm reading right now, and I'm planning on continue reading. And I did also read like 30-40 pages of like Sleeping Beauties yesterday, which is really interesting. It reads really Stephen King-y, so I'm kind of interested to see how much of like his son is in the book. But the beginning does read really like a Stephen King novel. There's like a meth lab explosion right now, and people dying, and the first people start falling into the sleep, like the first women. And yeah, it's just a typical start for Stephen King, so I'm also continuing with that one. But yeah, probably Saturday once I'm done with this one, you know. But yeah, that is kind of how it is. Work has been going so la la. Could be worse, could be better, you know. I don't know. I like my job enough. It's not my dream job, you know, but it pays the bills and I like it enough. But on some days, you know, it's exhausting for no reason. But yeah, that is kind of my plans for right now. So I will throw this back on and get ready for bed, and then just lay in bed, snuggle with the dog, and do a little bit of like nanograms and finish off the evening. And then tomorrow is already Friday, which I will Skype with my friend tomorrow evening, so I don't know if I will get to check in with you. Depends on what, you know, what I have to do. And then we have a 3-day weekend, which is really, really nice because Monday is a holiday. So that is really, really nice. I'm looking forward to 3 days off, if I'm honest. And now I will go get ready for bed. I mean, it doesn't look like it, but we have already like 8 o'clock, and normally, you know, I'm still sleeping really badly, so I'm fucking tired. Okay, it is Friday evening now, and I have 2 updates with you. The first update is with The Bands of Mourning. I listened to half of the book yesterday, so I have half of it left. You know what? I don't care for the book. I don't care for the story. I don't care for anything in this book. I think I will have it forgotten as soon as I finished reading it, if I'm totally honest. I get why people like it, and to be honest, I just don't. It's what it is. I will finish this tomorrow morning. I will listen to the other half. It will take me like roughly like maybe like 2.5 hours to finish this, so I will get that done tomorrow morning, so I have it done and I don't have to look at it anymore, because I don't like it. I'm sad about it, I'm annoyed about it, and I can't change it. So yeah, I don't know. It's obviously it's a third part, so I can't really talk about the story, and I don't really want to. For me, I don't know, this book, the second trilogy just really went over my head. I think it's not made for me, let's be honest. I love the first trilogy. I cannot deal with the second one. And then I finished The Paleontologist right now, so, which is the reason for the check-in, because I wanted to do a quick check-in before I Skype with my friend. This one, I feel like I have really complex feelings about it, which is kind of funny, because obviously it's just, you know, a horror book about a paleontologist. I gave it 4 stars in the end. I think a lot of people won't give it that good of a rating, and I can understand it. But for me, this book has brought a lot of feelings to the surface. I love the main character. I think the best part of the book is the first third, and then maybe the last 10%, I feel like, are the best parts of this book, which obviously makes it hard to finish and read for some people, because I feel like in the middle there was like a pretty obvious dip in quality of the book, which I found to be weird, to be honest. But in the end, the book pulled itself together for me. I kind of had an inkling on what happened to his sister, which is, you know, why he's haunted. I don't know what I've told you about it, but yeah, our main character is kind of haunted by spirits, and yeah, obviously by the vanishing of his sister. And the main thing that he tries to do in the book is to find out what happened to his sister. And also whilst being haunted by like scary things happening in the museum. And I think the journey our main character goes through is a really complex journey of grief and guilt, because he feels a lot of guilt about not being there when his sister vanished, because he was the one who went with her to the museum. Also kind of like a mix of shame and guilt, and not hate, but a strong dislike towards his mother, and the complex feelings of having an abusive parent, but still kind of not hating them for everything. It's a really, really complex thing, I feel, and I feel like the book has actually shown it quite well, but it is, I think, a hard thing to read about. it's just is for me. And at times I was a little bit annoyed at the journey the main character goes through, but in the end I was like, okay, it makes total sense, to be honest, because he starts not acting the most rational in like a little bit after the middle of the book, and I was really annoyed at it because I felt like that is so unnecessary. It doesn't really make sense, but you know, when you get further through the book, it kind of does make sense. And to be honest, I loved it. I really, really enjoyed reading about this. I think it's a topic. I love dinosaurs. I love museums. I love the preparation process. I myself have worked with photographing ceramics for a museum as my internship. When I did study Egyptology, I did work as an intern in a museum here in Berlin, and I did like photographs of mostly pottery, and I loved it. It was a really, really cool thing to be able to do, and it was amazing. You know, it turned out not to be the job for me, but I did love to do that, and I had a lot of joy doing that, and this book brought so many things back from that, and I think that is why I loved this book, because I don't know, it spoke to my heart, let's be honest. It speaks to my heart, and this will have a pretty like big place in my heart going forward. I'm pretty sure of that. It's a book I won't forget, you know, and it's nice, you know. I think it's not for everyone. I don't think it's a perfect book. I don't think the middle of the book is particularly great. The beginning and the end, I feel like, were really, really good. I feel like it showed a lot of complex human emotions, and I don't know, I don't have a lot of experience with them. I don't have a particularly great relationship with one of my parents, but it's not like, it wasn't like an actively abusive thing, you know. It was just not seeing eye to eye and maybe not being okay with some of their opinions and what they did, but nothing actively like harmful. But you know, I feel like it feels really raw and true, in my opinion. So yeah, I might have like a little bit of rose-tinted glasses towards this book, but I loved it so much. And yeah, 4 stars because of the dip in the middle. I can't give it 5 stars because of that, but yeah, if that dip wouldn't have been there, this would have been a 5-star read. But yeah, if you're interested in a book like this, read it. I know that the middle might be disappointing, but I feel like the beginning and the end are worth it to get through the middle, you know. But yeah, I'm really happy with that book, that I bought it on a whim and that I finished it now. Good morning. It is Saturday and I finished The Bands of Morning. I'm sorry, I don't like the series. I gave it 2 stars. I think it's unfair to give less. I think realistically the book is way better than my rating is, but I did not enjoy this whole series. I didn't enjoy this one. I just didn't enjoy the characters. I think the story really was like unimportant compared to like my dislike to the characters. Like I didn't really like care for the story, but most of that stemmed from not liking the characters. And I don't know, I loved the first mistborne series so much, but the second one just was so disappointing to me, in my opinion. Like, I know that a lot of people love the series, but in my opinion, the second series just felt rushed and so much less wondrous and magical, and, you know, all of the things I loved in the first trilogy, with like learning about all of the stuff and the magic and how the world lived and all of the problems in the world. And for me personally, I felt like this one felt too modern actually for me. Even though it's more like, it feels Western inspired and, you know, in like kind of steampunky, it just also felt too modern compared to like the first trilogy. And I feel like that is like a big problem, like on my side. I would have much rather preferred a second trilogy right after the first one happened and not with so much time between the two. And I think that, like, all in all put together, like the dislike of the main characters and all, you know, that happens in the book, I just did not like it. So I gave it 2 stars and I'm done with it. I know there is a 4th novel that is technically the ending of this one, Like, so it isn't technically a trilogy, like there's one more. I will not read that. I don't think that it makes any sense. I don't want to buy it, and so yeah, I probably won't read that, but it happens, you know. It's a little bit disappointing because up to this point I really liked everything else I read by Brandon Sanderson, but you know, you can't love everything, even from one author. I have the same thing with like Stephen King, where I love most of his stuff, but like every once in a while there's a book where I'm like, what is this? And yeah, the second Mistborne trilogy is that for Brandon Sanderson, in this case for me. And yeah, I'm just glad that I'm done with it, to be honest, and I don't have to read them again, I don't have to look at them again. I am done with the whole series, and I can actually continue with the other Brandon Sanderson books that I have still and I haven't read yet. So, you know, that is the nice point in all of this. But yeah, that is pretty much the end for the reading vlog. I at least managed to finish those 2 books, which I'm like really happy about, but plus the audiobook, the Terry Pratchett book. So yeah, I'm still making good progress, and I'm getting through my physical TBR, which is really nice. But yeah, the reading could have gone, like, there was a pretty big contrast to these 2 books in my enjoyment of them, let's be honest. But yeah, thank you for tuning in and watching this week's vlog, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. And yeah, just thank you for being here and, you know, letting me talk this all out. So yeah, thank you, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.